I have that card, and this is an original. It's not a fake. I have the same card. It's sold. It's a vintage Halloween postcard. Ellen Clap. Welcome back to SMPostcards. Today, I got the agenda right down here, what we're going to go through. We got 19 cards sold in this round, so not too bad. Then after we go through those, I'm going to get into some special topic postcard of hot air balloons on postcards. Those big balloons that are on postcards, and see how they do. In today's poll, I hear a lot of people talk about when eBay didn't have a good vacation thing where you went on vacation, you had to deal with handling time. Then they come out with time away, and now you got the critics talking about time away, it kills their stores and all this other stuff. So I wanted to find out how many people are using time away feature. That's when you go on vacation. It extends the time that you be out. It puts a little message at the top of your listing or your page and stuff like that. I'll let you know what I do with it. And then viewer comments. I picked out a bunch of kind of personal comments. I just wanted to get them out of there. I've been saving them in a folder. People ask me the same question over and over. A lot of times I don't respond to them. So I kind of paraphrased them, and I can give you some information and stuff like that. But that's the viewer comments at the end of the video. That's comments that come in from YouTube, email, eBay. Not as much as eBay anymore. Because if you send me a message in eBay, a lot of times I don't reply because I can't. Because they don't allow a lot of stuff in there. And I don't want to get in trouble with doing that. Let's go ahead and get started on what's sold. First person bought 2 cards for $9.50. It's 2 Navy ship cards. This one's semi-gloss front, matte back, USS Wahoo SS-238. That's a continental size card. And this one, I've been wanting to take this card down because the club that printed these, they have a database. I got the negatives. Well, they made a print of this postcard, and it's got the stamp picture on there. It's not, it looks like a real postcard like the original, and it's not. And I went to, one guy asked me about it, and I said, it's just a print. I haven't sold many of these at all. So I said, you know, this is just a little deceiving. I don't sell a lot of them out, but I'll just take it down, lot them up or something. And right when I was going to take it down, I sold another one. So this one might come back. People think it's the original and stuff. But in the listing, I have it as a print and stuff like that. This is one of those things that you'll get conversations on. But that's sold. It's a postcard of Japan. It's got some stuff on there. It's just a print of the original postcard. And I do spell it out directly in the listing and stuff, but you know, people don't read. So I do expect to get some backlash on the one I sold. I've sent messages to the buyer saying, hey, I just want to let you know this is just a print, not the original postcard, and I haven't heard back from them. I sent a message a couple times, so I'll probably end up having a conversation with them, and I'll refund them. I'm not worried about it. I did send it out. I'll send it out to him, and if he has any problems, it's no big deal. But once that's over with, I'll probably take this one down because I don't like selling that type of card. It just creates conversations. So those 2 sold for $9.50. Then I sold a romance card. I call these romance on there. This is a divided back, 1911. Some guy and a gentleman. Some poem at the bottom right there. These don't do well for me, but in the last few months I've sold a few, and this sold for $4.75. Next one is a cave, Weeping Rock, Zion National Park, Utah. It's a weeping rock. There's a guy standing over here. Zion National Park, $4.75 crumb card. Next one's a real photo postcard, and this is Park York. I think it's international over in England. It's just people standing by the park on the walkway there in York. Probably UK, I think it is. Real photo. That sold for $7.79. Next one sold for $5.65. It's Hotel Hartford in Connecticut. Divided back card. Nice picture of it. And that sold for $5.65. Sold a Navy ship, USS Gridley, CG-21. It's a chrome card, publisher card. They bought cases of these. That sold, I think I got like 300-400 over there still of those. Sold for $4.75. This is the Reception Hospital, Maryland Sanatorium. I did a video about insane asylums. I talked about sanatoriums and criminally insane. This is one of those sanatoriums where they did the medical. They treated medical disorders like tuberculosis and stuff. This is it's in Maryland. That's it right there. It does have a little bend right on the corner there and a crease and stuff. This only sold for like $5.75. This is one of them that didn't comp out as much as some of the other ones. So sanatoriums aren't as good as insane asylums are. They're criminally insane. So this is a sanatorium, a medical one. Next one is a dam, Boulder Dam, connecting. It's Hoover Dam now, I believe. It's a linen card, and it's when you were able to drive like over and stop and stuff. And this is a linen card. I can't tell when it's posted. A lot of writing on it. $4.75. Next one is Naval Air Station, Pensacola, Florida. People probably heard of this. Linen card, Naval Air Station. $4.75. Next person bought 3 cards. And you'll probably see if you can pick out the theme of what he was buying. This is the Rip Van Winkle Bridge over Hudson River in the Catskills, New York. White border card. That's that bridge right there. Next one is the Rip Van Winkle Bridge. Same thing, linen card. There's the bridge. Are you getting it? What he's buying? And then this is the Rip Van Winkle Bridge, Catskill, New York. If you keep your titles consistent and you have categories and stuff, it helps the buyer. So hopefully that's what he used. Another linen card. He was buying the Rip Van Winkle Bridge. So he searched my store for and got those 3 cards. And he paid $16.05 for 3 cards. Probably he got the volume discount, and a couple of those cards were over $5. Next person bought 2 cards. I love multiple orders, little 2, 3, 4s. Do those all the time. This person bought Dexter Avenue, looking east, showing Capitol, Montgomery, Alabama. White border card. Very nice card. Good condition. Both of these cards sold for $9.50. And then this is Commerce Street, Montgomery, Alabama. So both of these cards are from Montgomery, Alabama. The other one was all Rip Van Winkle Bridge. So collectors do that, and this is a white border card. So $9.50 for those. Then I sold a turtle. This is Silver Springs. I did a video about Silver Springs, the history. It's a national park now, I believe, if I remember right. But this is sea life underneath, but it's got a turtle on it. Right there. Turtle. Linen card. $4.75. Here's a poem card with a jester like on it, sold for $4.75. This is an undivided back card, 1906. It's got a jester, a little poem. It's on a non-press type paper, so it's got a little bit of texture to it. $4.75. That one's been in the box a couple of years. Sold this ship, the last one, USS Langley, CVL 27. It looks like it's going under a bridge in there. That's how these photos were done back then. This is on heavier cardstock. And they're $4.75. And then we're going off planet. We sold John F. Kennedy Space Center Apollo 16 Saturn V space vehicle liftoff, 1972. I like NASA. I wish I could find a big lot of NASA cards. And our Chrome card, $4.75. So 19 cards sold in this batch for $106.21. Average sale price, if I took $106.21 divided by 16, $5.59, $5.60. So average sale price is still creeping up a little bit. I'm happy with that. But then I also sold a few things, some dividers and some sleeves in the Ko-Fi store. So I was able to get those shipped out, and those are worth $28.95. Remember, in the Ko-Fi store, if you're a member at the $3 or $4 level every month, this helps keep the cost down. You get 40% off. So whatever this person purchased, he's got 40% off, plus the shipping and stuff like that. So I don't add that into my goal that I do every year. Ko-Fi is Ko-Fi. But if you take $28.95 plus $106.21, for the day, cash coming in is $154.13. But now remember, I paid eBay fees, I paid PayPal fees with Ko-Fi, I paid taxes, shipping material, the product. So I sold those sleeves. I'm going to have to buy sleeves to replace those to sell again. So all that stuff is cost of good. So by the time, I tell you the gross numbers here, but by the time you break it all down and what I keep is what the main thing is. So sales minus expenses equals profit. And that's what you want to make sure you have, is the price there, not just sales. You can bump all your old big sales on and get all those sales, but if you're promoting a lot, have a lot of expenses, and by the time it gets to the bottom you got nothing left, it's demoralizing. It's like you did all this work, but you still only got $10 in there. So you want to be able to get as much at the bottom as possible. A lot of people right now are saying sales are down. I'm kind of flat. The last year kind of goes up, kind of goes down below the line, but I'm kind of flat. It's called a side trend, not an uptrend or down. It's kind of just flat, which is fine. I did pretty well last year. I know lately my cards have dropped. I was doing 14 for the year average a day. I'm down to 12 or 13, bounces around there, but I am bringing more to the bottom line. I've been watching what I'm spending. I'm doing that. A lot of people do cost cutting, and I think they cut the wrong things. They start trying to get every penny out of a customer. They have shipping, they'll cut back on shipping supplies, then they end up getting returns and stuff. There are certain things you don't want to cut back off, and that's your quality of the product and stuff you do. Or they'll go out and buy a ton more inventory at the list because their sales are down. That's good if you got the money, but if you're putting that liquid cash out and you have some slow months, you need that money to pay some bills. So you want to be careful about all that. Just kind of stay the course, and we'll talk about that in the viewer comments. That's what's sold. Unlock the secrets of your treasures with Worth Point Price Guide. In seconds, discover the value of your collectibles, postcards, antiques, and unique finds. With their comprehensive database, you'll never wonder about the worth of your items again. From vintage comics to rare jewelry, they got you covered. Don't let uncertainty hold you back. Empower yourself with Worth Point and make informed decisions. Start exploring today and uncover the hidden gems in your collection. To see more information and sign up for a free trial, follow the link in the video description below. Hot air balloons on postcards. Who would have thought? I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about hot air balloons. We went to New Mexico, Albuquerque, and we saw that hot air balloon show. Those things are huge. And we didn't go on a ride or anything, but we walked around the park a couple days. We spent a week in Albuquerque in an Airbnb, and we just went around town, saw the Breaking Bad house. We went up to the mountains, drove to Colorado, took an old train, did a lot of things. We've done that in different cities. We went to San Francisco, took her through Philadelphia, and we just like doing that type of stuff and travel. But let me go and get started here. I'm going to talk about hot air balloons, history, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to show you some postcards I found with hot air balloons on them as I read this. Here we go. Hot air balloons have a really cool history. It all started way back in 1783 when two brothers, Joseph Michael and Jacques Montgolfier, if I remember, I'll put it down at the bottom here, their names, made the first hot air balloon. They used a big bag made of cloth and paper. When they heated the air inside, the balloon went up in the sky. People were amazed and excited to see it. After the brothers' first flight, hot air balloons became super popular. People started making their own balloons and having races. In 1785, 2 years later, a man named Jean-Pierre Blanchard flew a hot air balloon across the English Channel. This was a huge deal because nobody had ever done that before. Hot air balloons have continued to be fun and exciting way to travel and explore the sky. They're used for all sorts of things, like sightseeing, scientific research, and even in festivals and celebrations. Today, people still love the magic of hot air balloons, and they're a big part of aviation history. Now, hot air balloon postcards have a rich history also, dating back to the late 19th century. When hot air ballooning captured the imagination of people worldwide, these postcards served as souvenirs for spectators who witnessed the daring feats of early balloonists. As the popularity of hot air ballooning grew, so did the demand for postcards depicting these majestic vessels soaring through the skies. From early hand-drawn illustrations to vibrant photographs, hot air balloon postcards became cherished mementos, capturing the spirit of adventure and the thrill of flight for generations to come. I've got a couple facts here about hot air balloons. In 1870, a French inventor attempted to create a hot air balloon powered by the scent of roses. However, the experiment failed miserably when the balloon attracted swarms of bees instead of achieving flight. Now, scent of roses? What were these people smoking back then? During the 1980s, a group of enthusiasts in Japan experimented with creating singing hot air balloons. They attached small whistles to the burners, resulting in a chorus of whistling balloons as they ascended, creating a slightly eerie experience for onlookers. I like the rose scent with the bees better. And then in 1903, a daredevil pilot attempted to set a world record by flying a hot air balloon across the English Channel while juggling 3 flaming torches. That's a disaster waiting to happen. Despite his impressive juggling skills, strong winds forced him to ditch the torches mid-flight, narrowly avoiding disaster as he landed safely on the coast of France. So he made it, but he didn't do all the juggling. Hot air balloons are cool. I really like them. They're big, enormous, and they're different shapes and stuff like that. I remember one time, before me and my wife went out there, I went out and I was working in Albuquerque, and it was a big call center. It was almost 600 seat center. I think it was for Sprint. But I went out there and I had to put all the equipment in and stuff. So I spent a week out there, and I couldn't find a place to stay because everything was booked up for the air show, the balloon show, hot air balloon show that was going on in town. But I stayed in the Marriott. I was way up on the top floors, and I woke up and I was talking to my wife and kids. And the next, I'm sending them pictures because all I could see, because it's so flat out there, is all these balloons taking off. You know, you got bullwinkle, you got the big ones, you got different shapes. So every morning during the show, they'd have that. People would take off on the balloons, and I would see it. Then I would drive to the site and work. That was one of the most enjoyable accounts I worked on, is those big centers, because I could just go in and drop my tools and be there for a week or two and get everything done, not have to worry about running all over the country on different issues. But that was a big center. They drove bikes through that center because of how big it was. And they left one wall off the building because to bring the desk and all the computers and stuff, they just backed semi-trucks into the building and unloaded them right inside. Ours came to a loading dock and system, and the bundle of cables I was putting together were like this, and we had to put everything together. But it was like cookie cutter stuff because we'd done some other sites already. I like doing that one. I don't think it's there anymore. Hot air balloons rise, but do they sell? I use this little chart here in my head, just the way I do things. I needed something more than just my gut all the time. I wanted some data. It's how I'm wired. So I look at sell-through rate. When you calculate sell-through rate, you take sold divided by listed, you times it by 100, get a percent, and then I round up or down. If it falls in the 0 to 3%, I try to stay away from them. Sometimes I still pick them up because I'm not for sure, and they end up being low. Not that they won't sell, they just have a lower chance of selling. Because this is a snapshot going through eBay in the last 90 days. I could go back further and do more investigation, but basically I'm just looking for a range. I'm not looking for the last card, and so I just want to see, is there a chance that this is going to sell? Because you never know. But if it comes between 4 and 10%, those are the ones I work at. I work at divided back to Chrome. I don't go after all the fancy ones, the artists and all the stuff. I'm just looking for your average high and average cards. While I'm doing that, I do pick up some lows by accident or just being ignorant of what it is. But I also find the very highs. Those are the real photos. Those are the insane asylums and different things, the hospitals and motels and things that fall into the higher range of sell-through rate that's been selling on eBay. So that's how I work. I'm a quantity person. I like to put chromes up. I really like to divide it back to chrome area. But I put out their postcard hot air balloon as a search in eBay, and I click sold, which hits completed. 232 were sold. And there's 2,100 listed. So a lot of people I don't think are putting this in their titles or items specific because there's a hot air balloon on there. Times by 100, you still get 11%. It's right on the low end of the very high in my chart. So it's a card I'm not going to pass up if there's hot air balloons on it. But you got to bump it up against other things just to see if you got your thinking right. It's going to fall in there. So we got hot air balloon, 11%. So I went out there and I did rock climbing. That's another like hot air balloon, another one of those extreme things people do, I figured. 10%. High card. So if you got rock climbing, someone hanging off a cliff or something, those are only 18 of them sold and 184 out there. People were rock climbing in there. Then I did postcard kite. Figure a balloon go up, a kite will go up. There's only 51 sold and 546 listed with anything with a kite description. 9%. So I'm still holding between with the 11%. These are all up there. And then paragliding. Those little, I figured that was a little different. There's only 3 sold and 38 listed. So if you want to get down into certain niches, this is where some of them, I don't know if there's a lot of these cards out there or whatever, but 8%. So I think the 11% is good. It's in the high, very high range. That's where I would put it. I put it top of high is where I would put it. So it's a card I wouldn't pass up if it has an air balloon, a hot air balloon on it. But that's sell-through rate, and it just helps me. It's not my only thing I look at. I look at pricing as well. Sell-through rate to me is not pricing, promoted listings. There's so many variables that can drive a sale of a card. I just want to know how many physical cards are moving through eBay. So right now I know it's a higher card. I'm not going to pass it up. But what if I don't pass it up, what am I going to pay for these? What is the prices? So I go out there and I find the extreme pricing, I call it. I just go into eBay and I click high to low, and I keep going down. I throw the big ones out, the one of a kind and different things, until I get it to a consistent high level, and then we'll look at the average that we see every day. But these are kind of the higher and the high watermark of the higher ones. So I found 3 that I put up here. First one is used and posted real photo postcard. You can put all that in item specifics. Start of the 1908 air balloon race. So this is a race in North Adams, Massachusetts. $74. Look at there's, I can see 3-4 balloons in that picture, and some on the ground and people. And if this was a real photo of a hot air balloon race, they did very good with that. And it was a buy it now. They had it for I think 85, and they went down to 74, 80, 12% off. Who comes up with 12%? 74, so $75 for that pretty neat card, and they got stuff in there. That's not bad. And then this card is a clap saddle Halloween card. I have that card, and this is an original. It's not a fake. I have the same card. It's sold. It's a vintage Halloween postcard. Ellen Clapsaddle is the artist. Is who it is. Signed pumpkin, jack-o'-lantern is what they usually say, J-O-L. Hot air balloon. $67.50. They took a best offer, so maybe $60. I think that's around where I got this one listed as well. These Halloween cards, I find them and I'll pay for them, but I don't pay a lot because they do sit. And you got to make sure they're not reprints and stuff. But this is an original one here, and that should be an original one there. But I do have that same card. So it's not a one of a kind, but they got $65 for it. Not bad. Then this is one of those studio props. I think they could have got more, but it was a buy it now. Studio props, I always pick those up. Real photo studio, 2 girls seated in a fake mock air balloon. It's prop. Yeah, studio props. And they're sitting there, $40. So studio props always do well if they're in good condition and stuff like that. I've sold them for way more than that. In the cars or people dressed and stuff on there. So not bad deal. So if you're looking at the high extreme, $40 to $50, $60 in there, if they're good ones, one of a kinds and stuff. So that's the top ones that are. I've seen some sold for more, but this is the average of the high watermark for the top ones. But what about the stuff we see every day? So I picked out some anamorphic ones here. The first one here is a patriotic Santa Claus. So I put a little Christmas in here too. This is a Santa and a hot air balloon, different flags of countries on there, You got United Kingdom, France, and stuff. Flags, toys, 1910 postcard, $24 with Santa in there. Now just think if that was a blue or a purple Santa sitting up there. Or you got the artist on there. Those are the types of cards that people do, and they make good money on them. So $24 for a Santa balloon postcard. Or if it was a hold to the light, would be really well too. Then another anthropomorphic, and that means animals acting like humans. Oh, the first one's not anthropomorphic. First one was Santa. The second one's anthropomorphic. Easter rabbits in a disastrous air balloon crash. Sad and rare. That's a cool title. $20, only got one bid. So it's a buy it now to me in an auction. And so they got $20 for that. It's a pretty neat card. Unique. The balloons hitting the top of the building and the rabbits sitting there ready to fall hanging on, and the other one's screaming. So it's got some action to it. So between those two, the Santa and the Easter rabbits, you're looking $20, $25. This is the top watermark, remember. This is of the average cards that you see every day. This is what the higher ones are going for. And then I pulled this one out because it's a 1908 hot air balloon, deflated in sea. There's one in the water there, it looks like, and one flying over the top for New Year's postcard. So this got one of those 1908, it's a New Year's thing, $12.95. So not all of them sell for top dollar, but they do sell. And so here I'd say $15, $20 max on the average cards. The higher ones, one of kind, they just sell themselves, whatever. So they're not too bad. So if you see hot air balloons on postcards and you get them for a good price, you know you're going to get an average, above average price on them. And if you get some real photos like that one with that race, those are just amazing. That's hot air balloons. You guys know anything more about hot air balloons? Leave it in the comments. Who knew? Now we're going to get into poll, which will trigger a few people. Stuff like this always does because it's a change. People don't like change. They want to keep everything the same. They want everything. The world is volatile. It changes. And if it didn't change, we wouldn't be where we're at today. People make leaps forward and then they fall backwards. But I've seen a lot of change over my 60 years. And I do plan on seeing more. But this is about time away feature. It's the feature in eBay. If you we go on vacation every year. For 7 days, I'll put time away on the day before. I'll take it off before I get home with my handling time. Years ago, you had to go in and change handling time because it was just a mess with eBay. It didn't do the handling time and stuff, and everybody complained about it. Well, then they created the time away. Now a lot of people complain about that, saying it stops their sales. Of course, you're not going to sometimes sell as much. You're not listing and doing things. You've got new stuff up there, or doing things. So you're distracted by your vacation, and that's what you need to do, is get away from it. That's what vacations are. When I worked in Europe, those people went on vacation. They went on vacation. They call it holiday. When they go on holiday, they go on holiday. That's what it is. So I got a ton, I don't know how many, 25, 35 days a year in my last job for many years. A lot of times I would just take a day off here or whatever, but we had a ton of vacation days, and we always wanted people to take them. I think we could bank like 2 weeks a year up to 4 weeks total and stuff like that, but we wanted people to take them to recharge. Just get away. That way they come back more innovative. They're not all grumpy. They don't get that Monday morning, I gotta go to work thing. They're recharged for a while. It doesn't last long, but it's good to get out. And people tell their stories where they went and stuff like that. But time away feature doesn't hurt me. Every time I go away, I sell about the same number of cards. And I just put it on, and it runs. It puts a little thing in there. But I wanted to know how many people use this. So I did the use eBay time away feature when going away or on vacation. 79% said yes. 12% said no. Did they just close down the store, or they don't trust it? Just use the feature and see what it does. Then 10% others. But I got picked out 3 comments here that maybe help back up some of that. Trying to learn this says, I did, and my sales increased. So he's just the opposite. His sales increased. It was a nice vacation. You know, people gotta have clear, concise data when they say it hurts your sales. It's just one-time thing. It could be the market. It could be a holiday weekend. Like when I'm recording, it's a holiday weekend. People are not out and buying postcards. They're out with the family, so they're not sitting there. And then Jack Enterprises says, just depends. If I'm going away for more than a weekend, yes. If I got my store shipping, he has a store shipping hour set Monday through Friday, next business day shipping. So eBay will put that in there. And so anything on Friday, if it's sold on Friday, doesn't have to be shipped until Monday for business hours. Anything on Thursday has to go out Friday. Anything on Wednesday goes out Thursday, the next day. But when you hit Friday and it sells on Friday, remember this is, I think it's eBay time, Pacific time, not like Central Time where I'm at, or Eastern Time or Mountain Time. It's on their time. I think is where it's set. It's what I've always worked to. So he says, so he knows over the weekend he doesn't have to ship anything. Me, I ship 6 days a week if I'm home, Monday through Saturday. I'd ship on Sunday if I could. It doesn't take long in the morning with a cup of coffee, throw some postcards and envelopes, and I'm ready to go. But that's what he does. So he uses it when he's gone a longer time. Thanks, Todd. Then Green Door Investments. They try not to. We have adult kids that can pack and ship, but we have used that feature. Yeah, if you got people at home that can do it. I don't have anybody here, even though families at the house when we're gone and stuff. They don't do the postcards. My wife doesn't do it and stuff like that. My son could probably figure it out. He's helped me move some stuff around, and he sells on there. He used to work at GameStop. He was a general manager for GameStop for years, so he knows all the games and all that stuff. He's a dental assistant now. He makes the teeth. He scans your mouth and he makes the little teeth and stuff, and he works for a dentist. So he's got a degree in that. So, but he worked for GameStop. So people say, well, why don't you sell video games? I could. I just have to call him and his friend, and his another friend was worked there. They know all these games and stuff, but I don't get into video games. I'm not a gamer. I don't have anybody that can help you. Do you have people that can help you? Some people do. And on there, so it's a good feature. And if you got people to help you, it'd be great. Thanks, Green. And then PSG. I do use that feature, but I have had bad experience with it in the past. Some buyers will not be aware of the delay in shipping because either they did not pay attention to time away message when they purchased, or they bought the item via the mobile app and there was no away message at all. That happened to a bunch of my sales earlier this year when I was away for a week. eBay bug. I don't use the app that often, so I don't know. I don't use my phone pretty much at all. I get alerts on it. That's about what I use it for. I just don't. Just back and forth between the app and PC can drive me crazy. For people not reading things, that's descriptions and everything. That's been out there forever. But eBay states, I've read it somewhere I believe, that if you put time away on, and people put a negative or whatever in because of the time, they should take it off because you had the time away on and stuff. So you want to appeal those and stuff like that. But customers are going to do that. They don't read. And it's just part of working with the public. It's part of it. There's nothing. eBay could put a big banner floating across the whole screen. They're still not going to. Customers that don't want to read and stuff like that. But I understand there's little quirks here and there. You just got to work through it. But like when I leave, we go Saturday to Saturday every year. Friday morning, I throw everything closes down. I put it on time away. I put messages. I'm going to put a message on Ko-Fi. I let people know things. And then I'm done until Saturday. Do we have Wi-Fi where I go? Yes. Do I bring my MacBook, my laptop? Yes. Can I log in and check it during the week? Yes. I'll check things. I got my Apple Watch, got my phone. But I don't live on it when I'm gone. I don't do it when I'm home. I work in the mornings and the stuff, and that's it. I'm part-time. So if anybody's got an issue, I'll just deal with it. If I can see the message, I'll deal with it. But if anybody has an issue, I'll just deal with it when I get home. If I got to refund something or whatever, it's time away for me. It's a little, people say it's selfish. You always got to be with your business. You're an owner. No. You got to get away sometimes and do things. Now, if you got big issues going on, if I get a return while I'm away, say I leave on a Saturday, and I got a return and eBay says I got to take care of it by Wednesday, sometimes it's like, what do you do? you know, sometimes you just got to refund. So there's different things about leaving your business and stuff, but I'm not tied to it. I can shut the whole store down if I wanted to. But with time away feature, why not? I'll sell some cards while I'm gone. So let me know if you use it, and any more comments about time away or any tricks that you do and stuff like that. Now coming home, so we go Saturday to Saturday. My handling time's 1 day. So like on Friday, I'll take time, I'll have it turn off on Friday, and I'll ship everything out that next Monday. So it's because Saturday and Sunday you don't need to have it. So really I only have it Saturday, Sunday through Thursday. So Saturday to Thursday is when I have it on, and then I turn it off. So I could go in and change the handling time and change all this stuff, but that messes with shipping policies. I'll just let it ride. I can live being away for 7 days, and it's no problem. It's part of the budget that I'm going to be away for a couple, 3 weeks or whatever, because we plan to travel a little bit more. So I have no problem doing that. It's all worked into my mind of my business. But thanks everyone for working on the polls. I got 1, 2, 6. I pulled 6 small viewer comments today. A lot of these I've had in my folder. People asked the same question over. Some of them are kind of personal, so I paraphrased a few things. They were getting a little bit too detailed. I don't say all the numbers and stuff like that. I figure that's my business, and I'm not out here to gloat or prove that I'm the biggest seller or whatever. I'm doing everything right. But if anybody asks me a question, most of the time I'll respond unless it's too personal. But the first one I got is from Amazing Car Per Diem. Do you ever put cards on auction? I have in the past. People say it's good. I think there's a big push for it right now. It's the older eBay stuff. It's another option you can do. I don't like the administration of it. Finding the cards didn't sell. I just don't do a lot of it in the app. That's probably why I don't do it. Could I get some sales from it? Most definitely. It's just another option to sell. I don't think it's going to take you from 5 cards to 50 cards a week by putting everything in auction on there and stuff. There's so many auctions out there and buy it nows, but mostly 99.99% of the time I do buy it now without best offer. I do send offers and just let it ride. I don't do enemy list and all that other stuff. I don't throw a lot of sales on. I don't promote a lot. It's just my best price on there. It's a collectible. It's not a bottle of shampoo, a new item. You can do it. If I got a card that's like a real photo, I'm not for sure what it is, I think it's going to go really high, maybe I'll put it out there on an auction and go real high and just see what it does. I'll do stuff like that, but also I can put it in buy it now and go high and put best offer on it. But I haven't done that in a while. But I did a video here a while back, 25 real photo postcards in an auction. And I show how I did it, the titles, the postcards, and then I show what I got for them. So if you want to know how they work for me, there, I don't have the greatest luck with auctions. And some of these cards I think should sell for more. After that video, I put them all as buy it now. I sold a bunch of them for higher than what I had them in the auction. But is that a real good test? No, but I just wanted to show people I put 25 real photo postcards in the auction, and that's the results. So check that video out. Thanks, Amazing. Now this one had a lot of stuff in there, and they're just asking me a lot of questions. I think they're planning on retiring. I was able to answer a few things in the email, but the main thing came out I got from this and some other ones. You're retired, why don't you resell full time? So my wife said one time, after I retired, I don't know if you've been following me for a while, you know I used to do action figures, toys, Star Wars. I had 3 or 4 storage units full, buying big collections. I had, huge amount of stuff going out every day. Did the flea market, and I had postcards. The post office had a special van come over my house to pick stuff up. I just did a lot of stuff. I had a distributor, I bought new stuff, and just a lot of things. My wife said, you haven't slowed down since you retired. When are you going to slow down? It kind of hit home a little bit. So I said, yeah. And I just kept going, and I didn't want to do it anymore. I didn't want to run over and get the stuff, sourcing, boxing, spending time shipping. It was time to slow down. And we're financially independent. We're fine. We don't have debt. And when you retire, you really don't want to. You're on a fixed income. But we have money coming in from the career that I did, investments, and she has some. And so I don't really need to do this, but I like doing this. When you retire, it's not about the money. It is, but it's really about finding something to do. You don't want to just sit there. You want to find stuff to do. You'll get bored. And this keeps me busy with the YouTube channel and stuff. I don't want to do it. I don't need to do it. If I had to do it, I could ramp everything back up in 6 months and be back where I was. And I know I can do that. I can go out and get a job in the field I have. But right now, we don't have to do that. That's why I don't do it full-time. I'm just part-time. So I want to do my goals for this year, again, was 16 cards a day. I'm about 12 or 13 right now. It dropped a little bit. I want to do $80 a day gross. That'll give me $35,000 a year. It'll go up and down a bit. It'll be a little lower, a little higher. So let's say $30,000 a year. If I bring 40% home, 50%, that's $10,000, $12,000 a year extra. Mad money. I can do whatever I want. Buy a computer, go on a trip, buy another piece of something I want for the computer or myself, buy some more postcards. You know, after all said and done taxes, if I could pull 40% out of it, then I'm fine. A lot of people say, well, I want more than that. I don't need it at the moment. I'm fine. Everything's paid for. Everything I have is paid for. I can squeeze a little bit more out, but I don't stress over it and stuff like that. So I'm not looking to be the top seller with the most cards or the most dollars and go out there and tell you I sell thousands of dollars a week or a day. That's not me. I'm your average person. I want the best average sales and be the best average buyer eBay ever had. I'm in my little niche. I'm happy with what I got, and that's what I do. So that's, yeah, I won't be full-time again unless I have to. Thanks. Next one, I did a video on the little $58, the cheaper thermal printers I did, IDPRT. It's a Bluetooth one. If you haven't seen it, it's a short video. People ask me, how is the new thermal printer working out for you? So here's a picture where I put it. So this is down in the bottom here, or the bottom of below my scanners. I have a little battery backup. All my computers and stuff, I try to put on some kind of battery backup power conditioner. And I work for an electric company. I know what gets put through the wires. And so I always try to condition that type of stuff. But that computer there was my older computer that I used to do all my eBay and stuff on. That's all, it still works. It's plugged in. I have a screen and everything working there. And then right to the left of that is the new IDPRT thermal printer. It's Bluetooth, so it doesn't need a wire. I just plugged it in, and I took some fan folds and I just put it behind there. I don't have a lot of room, but I put enough there, and I've been using it, and it works fine. My Rollo works. That's my backup. So right there at the bottom there, if something happens to my computer, my thermal printer, a Rollo, I can just go right over there and it'll start working. So it's working fine. I haven't had an issue with it yet. Thanks for asking. Next one was another lot of questions, how I manage money in my business and stuff. Some of the questions were getting too personal. I won't respond. But do you use a credit? No, do you use a credit card in your business or just pay cash for everything? Yes and no. So how I tell everybody, the most important thing in your business managing is your money. You got to get that managed. If you're just a hobby seller, sells a few things in there, it's probably not worth going out and getting a different account and stuff. But if you're selling a lot of stuff in that, I always recommend separating your money. I'm just a sole proprietor, so anything I make in my personal income or eBay just gets all put under one basic thing under my Social Security number when we file our taxes at the end of the year, and we do a Schedule C to take the expenses off. Is what you can do, what I do. So I'm not an LLC or corporation where I have to get paid every month a certain salary, all the taxes taken out and stuff like that. I'm not that big of a seller. I don't plan to be on there. When I had the restaurant and other things, I used to be a S corporation. I had different entities. I had like 5 different companies underneath that. I dissolved all of those years ago under the main corporation. And when I sold the restaurant business and the catering and other things that we had and the buildings and stuff, we sold all that and we dissolved all that and got out. I don't want to be a landlord anymore or stuff like that. So we got out of that. So I'm just a sole proprietor. I have 3 business accounts at my bank. It's a local bank, not Chase and all these online things, but I can do everything online. I have 3 accounts, and I pay $4 to $5 a month for these accounts. The first one is like the operating account. It's day-to-day business stuff. eBay, everybody connects to the top account. Anything that sends me money or pulls that I can do that gets connected to that account. I don't keep a lot of money in there. They're not going to be able to swipe a lot of money. They can overdraw it. They can try, but so everything's paid there, and I have a debit card directly to that. It's a checking account as well, so it's a debit card to that account. So everything I pay my bills out of is the top account. The next account is like taxes for the year, bigger bills. I want to save up every month. I put money into there. My inventory I buy comes out of there. And then I have whatever's left over. I call it surplus. And that's my third account. That's where all the other money goes in the bottom. Those 2 accounts, the tax account and the surplus account, nobody has access to it except me and the bank. There's nothing tied to those accounts. It's just the top account is what I have. Now I said I have a debit card tied to that. So if I go to an auction and I bring some cash with me, most of the time I do, but a lot of times I'll spend more than what I brought. I'm not going to walk around with $500 in my pocket. Nobody does. I think if I look at my wallet right now, maybe I got $5, $10 in there, because everybody takes cards nowadays. So if I buy more, I'll have to use my debit card, and they'll charge you the fee. That's fine. Some of these auction houses, for some reason, my debit card doesn't work. It just keeps coming back. I've asked the bank about it, and they're not for sure. They're still looking at it. But so I just pull out my credit card. I do carry one I used to be on the road a lot and stuff like that. You can't run a car without one and do things, so you always have one. So I have a business credit card I'll use. But once that hits, I pay it off. I don't carry a balance at the end of the month on credit cards, but that's what I use it for. Or if I'm going on a trip and stuff, I want to calculate my gas and stuff like that, I'll put it all on the credit card while I'm gone, the hotels and stuff. And then when I get home, I'll just pay it off. That's the only time I use a credit card. For there, we don't use them that often and stuff. As I said, we're retired and we don't want to do it. So it's not bad to have them, but you just got to make sure it can get racked up pretty quick. I've seen a lot of people get in trouble with them. But sometimes you've got to do what you got to do. But I have a debit card tied to those accounts, and that's what I use. I pay cash for everything, or everything's paid for that I have, or I don't buy it. Thanks for asking. And what are my plans for 2025 going forward? So we're basically over halfway through 2024. I'm just staying the course. Part-time, list what I can. I'm at 54,000 cards. I'm going to hit 60,000 probably by the end of the year, close up to there. I don't want to get another eBay store, so I'm slowing down the listing, doing what I can and stuff like that, and just be part-time. I got things in the works for 2025, side things that I'm doing, but nothing that's going to take hours and hours a day to do. They're small things, and I'll work on them in my leisure. It will bring a little bit of income in. I'll share it when it gets done and be successful, hopefully, or if it fails. There's nothing rocket science. It's just taking some of the stuff I have and doing it, seeing if it sticks to the wall. All my videos on YouTube for 2024 are the schedule's laid out. 2025, the whole schedule for the year, the different topics I'm going to do is done. I also have topics available for 2026 if I want to continue doing that. So my videos that you see every week, they've been lined out and planned out way more than a year ahead of time. So it's not like I just think about doing a hot air balloon video today. I've been working on it for a while, so I'll do like all the thumbnails, and then I'll go through and I'll do all the research, and then I go to get the current pricing. I try to do it as I going to be that week doing the video, and then the comments I pull. My parrot Sal is still upset that I haven't took him upstairs yet to his other apartment. He has 2 houses, full cups of food, fresh water, gets a bath, clean cages, and he still complains. Just a diva. That's where everything's planned out. I have enough postcards to get me through whatever. I don't need the stores if I don't want to. I still like to, but I'm basically stay the course. Things are volatile right now with the political year and stuff like that. I'm just going to put my head down and just keep moving forward. I got money in the bank, and what sells, sells. But share your plans, what you think you're going to be at in 2025 or 2026, what it's going to be. I don't have a crystal ball that works, that tell me, but postcard selling will be here. Reselling will be here. No big sites are going away. A lot of stuff I've had in my buckets I cleaned out. But if you got any other questions, not too personal, but if you got questions how I do things, just let me know. How I got to where I'm at and stuff. There's no magic button. There's no book on this life to tell you how to do things. You just kind of make the right decisions and hopefully they pan out. We're grateful with what we have. And are we rich? No. we live normal, nothing amazing, and we're happy with it. That's all I got for today. Check out the hot air balloons. If you got some that are really cool, if you sold or just have them, want to share with us, send it to contact at SMPostcards.com. I need some stuff for some show and tell. I got some coming up, but I want to get some more in there. So if you got any of those out there, would be great. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.